Should you play Ghost Recon Breakpoint in 2024? Alright, let's check this out, guys.
So a few videos ago now, I checked out Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I was on the fence of playing that game at the time because I'd heard.
Oh, he's raiding a little compound.
Again, that is usually the reason why people watch these videos, and then a lot of people were also requesting it. So here we are with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, a love and hated game. So I'm intrigued to see how it does compare to Wildlands.
Personally, I actually like the game, bro. The game's fun.
So Ghost Recon Breakpoint is quite a switch up from Wildlands, but of course following the same formula of a open world tactical shooter. Now,
wait, what does Wildlands look like? I mean, actually no, I've seen shorts on it, I think, but I've just never actually watched long form videos on it. Maybe I have, I just don't remember. But yeah.
A lot of people loved what Ubisoft did with Wildlands and expected a carry on from that, which makes sense. Though when Breakpoint did release, a lot of players weren't overly happy about the changes they did make, this being the overall...
I actually searched up why not many people played it, and it said it had bugs in the beginning or something like that.
Designs compared to Wildlands, and them straying away from the stealth and tactical shooter side.
Wait, what happened? Hold on.
Players weren't overly happy about the changes they did make, this being the overall mission designs compared to Wildlands, and them straying away from the stealth and tactical shooter side a lot more by implementing other features that people didn't really seem to enjoy. A big one being the looting system. However, over the years the game has had a lot of changes to it, making it so much better, catering to all play styles with an insane amount of customization built into the game now, such as the Ghost experience, which does let you choose between regular and immersive.
I've never used that before. Maybe I'll try it someday.
Now, regular is basically what the game was at launch, where it focused more on a looter shooter
experience. Yeah, I like regular.
And by that itself, it was bound to cause some dislike, as it totally switches up the genre of the game compared to Wildlands. Regular is more of a looter shooter because there's different levels and rarities to your gear and weapons, whereas the new immersive option strips away that entirely, therefore removing the different levels and gear, meaning not only does it fix a massive issue people had with the game, but also allows for way more customization and replayability. So the game,
I do gotta say though, the game, the graphics do look realistic. Alright, that has to be props to Breakpoint.
Game can be played in so many different ways, it's insane, and the two modes can be switched up at any time, but you can also customize these two modes even more by going into more detail, like choosing gear level options.
I've never been to those settings before.
Enemies play out, how tactical you'd like to play, meaning changing weapons.
Oh, I've seen that before, but I usually go in that area only to fix my frame rate.
How injured you get and how quick it regenerates, ammo loss, etc. There's so much, even different HUD options and social changes. I could honestly go on forever and go through the whole list, but I think you get the point. There's an awful lot of customization in this game, and I thought Wildlands had a lot, and what's great is that it's way more than launch, almost creating an entirely...
Alright, I gotta react to Wildlands gameplay someday, because I'm not too sure what Wildlands I don't know how it works 100%, you know?
Different set of gameplay that differs between each player. I think it's great that they took their time to...
Oh, something so satisfying about landing a helicopter on a base, bro, and then just sniping guys.
To improve the game instead of just abandoning it, which I've seen companies do a few times whilst doing these reviews. The gameplay, I honestly...
Bro, those are civilians. Get that guy.
It feels ways...
Get that guy.
Mover in terms
of let's go.
Movement and animation when sprinting and shooting at the same time, then proning with animations looking very fluid as you turn and shoot on the floor, but also the gunplay as well. It could be my favourite part of the game, and of course you do an awful lot.
Oh yeah, the gunplay is actually fun.
And the huge selection of weapons to choose from.
I don't know, something satisfying about hitting your own shots.
With each one handling differently, but still looking and feeling clean when taking down enemies. And stealth is still very present in this game, even more with new gameplay options. There's moments where I was going in silent, which is my own choice, and the gunplay really helps to enhance this stealth experience because it feels so smooth. Then there were many times when I went all out and it generally felt like I was in the middle of a war, especially in this moment.
Bro, the gunfights in this game are actually fun. They actually do give a challenge.
Right here on the screen. Well, I really shouldn't have executed this mission this way, but I decided to do it, and it turned out messy in terms of close calls, but looked and felt so fun. What I'm trying to get around is the fact that this game feels amazing.
Take him out.
Play it, because it doesn't just focus on one side of gameplay anymore, but also you can make the game how you want it depending on your preferences. Another aspect that totally changes the way you play, and you can choose how, is the AI teammate. As I was describing, playing by yourself, whether that be or full action, feels like you're unstoppable and all the pressure is on you to survive and keep on pushing through all the...
Bro, school's seeing this dude take out guys.
missions, and I love that. Now in Wildlands I did actually play with AI teammates, which I didn't actually mind. Though
Oh yeah, AI teammates.
at times, they definitely help.
Yo, I should do a video on that. Playing with AI teammates, you know? See how that goes. Raiding a base.
Helped a lot, but with me being able to have so much freedom in how I play this game, I decided to not use them this time round and get that solo experience, which as I mentioned,
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did. However, if you do want to use the AI teammates, you can. It all just depends on how casual you like the gameplay. Maybe if I made the enemies stronger or the
Bro, those guys, I sometimes see them flying around with drones. They're the worst because of the drones, not necessarily because of them. They're relatively easy to defeat, but with the drones, oh nah.
Then I would have put them on. Though I do know the AI teammates can
Bro, just throw a grenade, man. Throw a grenade.
Wildlands, which basically means you can take down enemies as you all shoot at them.
Actually, yeah.
Which is
I guess that
always
worked.
so satisfying and great for stealth. Now, like I said,
Get
I
him.
don't use them, so I don't have gameplay of them. But I do know they can be leveled up, which makes them even stronger and gain some more abilities. The same goes with teammates as well, which you can play
man.
with in co-op.
Something about stealth attacking guys is also satisfying.
And what's great is that their customization and gameplay won't change. Each of you can make the game how difficult you want it, and I think it's great for playing with teammates. Therefore, not everyone has to be the same skill level. I'd like to talk about the actual weapons themselves and the customization
Stoner.
of them.
Oh, the
game
LMG.
pretty much every modern day weapon out there. It's one of the largest systems I've ever seen.
I think I've used a stoner before, and the 805.
Aspect that always switches up the gameplay, allowing for more freedom and replayability once again, and it's arguably the best part of the two games. All the guns play out differently, as I spoke about, but still all feel smooth to use. Even just the weight differences in the
I got that shotgun in a video before.
gun, making them feel different to handle and more realistic. There's great customization in loadouts. You can fully customize the attachments just like a COD game and level each one up, making them feel better with upgrades in handling, distance, recoil, etc. As some of them can be a lot less accurate as expected with no changes made to them, especially in recoil, so it's good to start customization as soon as you can. Now if you play with gear level, then they vary even more, and it makes the process feel a lot more rewarding, the fact that you found an even stronger weapon, I feel, even down to the
Something about finding skill credits is also rewarding.
appearance of them all, which are so detailed, and they also change their look with so many paint jobs to choose from and more as you progress.
Okay, I gotta figure that out. How to change the paint job, cause I kind of want to change mine. I mean, not kind of, but you know, I would like to someday.
Those to pick from.
Whenever it's the time.
And it's not just a gun as a whole, you can switch out the paint jobs of each attachment, which didn't have to be done, but it's there. They've also made some changes since launch, like the switching
It's cool camo.
of fire modes on most weapons. You can choose between full auto, burst, single fire, etc., which was a great change. You can also switch out the rest of your loadout, for example your gear. As you progress you unlock more armor and clothing for your character. Again, if you play with gear levels on, then some are better than others, and you actually have to switch them out. However, you can select skin override, which basically means the look of the outfit won't change. It will just be what you customize your character as, but the armor and its stats will
I like how you can, you know, customize the outfit. You know, make it all blend in. Depending what area you're at. Like, I think right now, my character is like all white because he was in the snowy area. And yeah.
stay the same. That being said, you can make your character look exactly the way you want without being locked to which ones benefit you. There's so much customization with you being able to not only choose the different types of clothing and their design, but then switching out the camouflage and colour with lots of similar looking
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. This stuff right here.
colours, meaning you can really style your character well, as the colours can complement each other so nicely. Implementing accessories, headgear, glasses, body armour, backpacks, etc. You can spend so much time on it, which just keeps on getting bigger the more you unlock. Focusing on stealth gameplay a bit more, there's some quite unique animations when taking down an enemy compared to Wildlands. They look so cool and are very smooth to perform.
Yes.
Knives,
Yes.
and then the enemy fighting back, and then you counter them. Quite a few brutal ones, to be honest. It makes the stealth way more immersive and fun, so it doesn't always feel so repetitive, and as I mentioned,
That is facts.
the gunplay being so clean, especially with suppressors, makes it even better. There's times where I just
Oh, suppressors are fun. Oh.
be in one spot with the high ground, tagging enemies and then picking them all
I think like I actually with the P90, I don't know why, but the thought of using it is so satisfying.
off. It would be cool if they implemented the environment a bit more in stealth, like using objects or the side of buildings to take down people, or launching them over ledges. The melee weapons you use for stealth takedowns don't have a massive list, just a standard knife or the karambit. I didn't expect loads as it's only used in a quick animation. There's also many tools and gadgets like throwables.
Oh, the Juggernaut.
Gas, grenades, smoke bombs, lure grenades.
I've never used tear gas.
To experiment with, making each
I've used flashbangs and grenades and C4s.
fight feel even more fresh, and it
I
definitely
mean the things that the bombs that you would use with the the button. Yeah.
helps when taking down the tougher enemies or tanks, for example. There's also a stamina bar, which again, you can control how quick it regenerates, the same with health. But on top of that, there's also the ability to drink water to replenish even quicker, and you actually refill it with water you find around the map. The animations in healing injuries are actually...
For whatever reason, I do not drink water in that game. I've never like really figured it out.
be great. Your character wraps bandages around their leg or arm, or uses a syringe, but the animation seems different every time. Also varies depending on how bad the injury is, and then the animations when moving.
I don't know why. Something cool about like battles in this game is like when you get like shot in the leg, your character starts to gallop. You know, like, I don't know. It just looks like cool coming back from a battle in the game.
Whilst injured are very realistic as well. Now it's time to move on to the mission design. There's actually a colossal amount of story missions, side contracts, objective missions, multiplayer missions, factions, etc. Now to be honest, I'm going to be focusing on the main missions and then going into the storyline for the most part, but I will go over others. So the main story missions are in a collection called Operation Greenstone. Again, I'll go into story later, with two main characters that then branch out into various missions, most of the time to do with another character. Now these consist of you starting out at the main hub, which is where you'll see online players.
I've been there before.
Where you'll receive orders from X character, usually consisting of you travelling over to an enemy base. Now the map is giant, so most of the time it's in a helicopter, and luckily
the map is big.
Outside, as well as you being able to fast travel back to the main hub at any time. Now there's quite a few times where you'll be ordered to go to a place to then meet with someone.
Oh wait. See, look. Right here. This is what I like to do. I like to get these guys on motorcycles.
Now there's quite a few times where
usually with a rifle.
You'll be ordered to go to a place to then meet with someone who then tells you to go to another place. And then at that place you then wipe out all the guards and then gain information or escort a character. Now that isn't the only thing you do, there's definitely differences, but what I'm trying to say is that the main objectives could seem a bit repetitive for some. As I mentioned earlier though, the gameplay and how you want to play the
I don't really do the main objectives. I just, just get enemies.
The game is what makes it fun. It's basically down to you on how much enjoyment you get out of these missions by trying different strategies or methods of gameplay, or even customizing the options again, switching out different weapons and gear, using different tools and gadgets to make it fun.
I've done that before.
And that freedom is there for you to experiment freely.
Oh wait, let me pause this. I honestly don't like sticking to the same weapon, Sometimes you just gotta change it up.
Base raids and missions, just like a Far Cry game, is used as a...
Bro, Far Cry is fun. I've not played that game in a while.
And if there's one thing you can take away from this review, that's it. I think it's the beauty of the game, but again, that's just the story missions anyway. There's so much else you can do, it can be kind of overwhelming for some people, but there's of course no rush. And
I've done that before.
It's also a game you do
take out dudes by a helicopter.
Slowly progress through each sector, whilst you
got a mine? Okay, pistol.
Objectives you can do to gain more gear. You unlock most of these by asking civilians or interrogating enemies to find a location. Again, this is something you won't be doing over and over. This is definitely a repetitive part, usually an escort, steal a vehicle, etc. Nothing crazy because it is just for a piece of equipment, basically there as a filler if you'd like a specific bit of gear you'd find intel for. The story missions actually go by factions, with two types of faction missions in the game. So there's the main story ones, as I mentioned, but also daily.
Bro, I don't really like follow up with storyline, I don't know, should I do it someday? Or maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, in that game, I think you guys have probably seen the previous videos I made on Ghost Recon, and it's just me, sniping guys. I mean, taking them out. Not necessarily sniping all the time because I did a short range challenge, but yeah.
daily objectives that again will help unlock more gear or XP and do reset every day, basically as an extra set of missions that can be done. So you see what I mean by there's a lot of stuff to do. Now for the story and narrative itself, it follows the Ghost leader Anthony Perryman, but just goes by Nomad. He's been ordered to basically stop the island of Aurora. The organisation who controls this island is Scale
This stuff actually looks nice though, like the design.
Technology. He produced high-tech.
See, look how realistic this stuff looks. That's what I like about the game. One of the things I like about it.
Weapons and gadgets. So the owners are Scale Technology, but the
Yo,
other faction.
Those little plane things. Where is it?
High-tech weapons and gadgets. So the owners.
I love to snipe these out of the sky. Assumed it just explode.
Are Scale Technology, but the other faction in charge who Ghost goes up against is a group called the Wolves. This is who we're up against and is the main plot for the story. Now the leader of the Wolves goes by Cole Walker, who is actually an ex-Ghost member and leader. Wolves are taking control of Scale Technology to then take their technology for dangerous use. The overall goal is to stop them.
Oh yeah, those are the bad guys. Bro, I hate these drones so much. Bro, they're like probably the mechs in Ghost Recon, you know, from Fortnite.
Them and uncover the truth. So it's actually an interesting plot and sets a good foundation.
Yo, and they're so hard to shoot too, bro. Especially when you have like a bunch of guys shooting at you at the same time. Bro.
Foundation for the game. Nothing incredibly unique, but I didn't have any complaints really. I also didn't go into Breakpoint just like Wildlands, expecting a deep and in-depth narrative. The main aspect is definitely the gameplay, but when you follow this game's story, it dives into themes like betrayal and actually a deeper meaning, with a future problem of high-tech gadgets and weapons. It's definitely a great rivalry between Nomad and War.
Hey, maybe I'll like play more of the storyline someday, like for a video.
Which I liked. The actual character development isn't anything special. I didn't feel extremely connected to the characters that much, but the overall plot I did appreciate. Again, for me the story isn't the main focus with these games, and it looks like Ubisoft also think the same, but it's still made for a great narrative to the game for sure. And I think that's where I end my review of Ghost Recon Breakpoint in 2024. Definitely not as bad as people made out, especially.
Exactly, bro. The game is actually fun. I don't know, I feel like it's underrated, bro. Like, people gotta give the game more love.
Back when it launched, as over time they've continued to update the game, and the game can basically be played in any way you want, and I definitely do recommend it now. So if
Exactly. Bro, exactly. Hold on, let me subscribe. This is a good video. Alright, let me give my takes on this. So, I said like the game's like underrated, and I think there is truth to that, bro. Like, I personally enjoy the game. I like it. Like, he said that the stealth here, you know, the animations were all unique. The shooting is clean. Like, I actually, you know, agree with that. Graphics are good. If you guys like really want to play this game someday, I highly suggest you do. Also, show Calzee some support. Here are some videos that I think you guys would like.